Things are getting very nice or very evil. That's right. Danhausen came out of the box. Anything that came out of a box is over, possibly. Danhausen, for those who don't know, obviously has a defined gimmick. He sells a lot of merch. He wears face paint. He curses people. Very nice, very evil, and has a jar of teeth that he handed to Michael Cole. This is all part of his gimmick. It wasn't altered in any stretch of the imagination. If you're not familiar with Danhausen on the independent scene, or you've never watched AEW, and this is the first time you've ever seen Danhausen, it's what he does. They haven't altered his gimmick at all. He sells a lot of merch. He has a defined gimmick. This guy has a defined gimmick, mostly known as a comedy wrestler, not really known for his in-ring prowess. A lot of people don't think he can wrestle. And a lot of WWE fans did not react kindly to Danhausen's arrival, citing that he's an indie goof, and pretty much this is too indie for them, and he has too much of an indie mindset and can't hang with wrestlers on national TV and a WWE ring.
Here is my question. You said a couple times today already, this match was great for Chicago. This match was perfect for in Chicago. This debut was awful in Chicago. I think you open up this box in 99 cities and it works. You pick the one city and the one moment that I don't think it worked. And we kind of heard that on the broadcast. I mean, there were some cheers. People were excited for Danhausen, but Brody, we heard some boos as well. It was not a favorable reaction.
It wasn't a favorable reaction, but they're going with it. Paul Levesque says things are going to get fun. They're going to get fun. And they're sticking with it. They already have him interacting with the he was the Intercontinental Champion at the time he interacted with him, Dominik Mysterio. He cursed Dominik Mysterio on Raw, and that curse maybe led Dominik Mysterio to lose the Intercontinental Championship to Penta, and then
look at Ryan.
Maybe he curses The Miz on SmackDown.
Ryan's got head shakes going on. You don't like that?
Mad when he lost, man. I love double champ Dominik.
I loved it.
But Penta deserves that win, though.
Penta deserved the win. They need to do something with Penta. They're doing something with Danhausen. He's Intercontinental. He's already reacting and interacting with the Intercontinental Championship. He's hobnobbing. He's doing stuff. They are pushing Danhausen to the moon, and they're just convinced that he's going to be something.
Okay, so you keep saying they're pushing him and they're doing something and they're doing this. What's Brody's thoughts? What do you think?
My thoughts on this. This is not a case where the wrestler can just say, oh, WWE's not utilizing me. They've changed my character. No, they've not changed your character, Danhausen.
Giving you a shot.
This is on you. You know who's going to determine Danhausen's success in WWE? Danhausen. Yep. It's Danhausen himself, because they haven't altered your character one iota. Go out there, curse people, very nice, very evil, keep your face paint, have the jar of teeth. It's all there. You can do what you've done on the indies, Danhausen. It's great. Love it.
Do you think that we will be able to see in the WWE the tequila spot?
Maybe. They may allow it.
WWE could pay for the rights to use that song, Great. Indies, it's a little tougher, or AEW I know didn't, but WWE, they could do that. So I think that would be interesting. I think fans would get behind that. Fans love to be involved in the performance itself. And I think Danhausen has a lot of opportunities for them to do that. I think
when does he get past the comedy, though? He has to wrestle at some point.
I do think the WWE fans are going to be a little quick to turn on him if he doesn't perform in the ring.
That's it. That's all. That's the right question.
Danhausen
cool. Has to step up.
See, so I look at this as somebody like Santino Marella.
Do you know what happened with Santino when he first came into WWE? He won the Intercontinental Championship on his first night by defeating Bobby Lashley. That happened.
He sure did. And my whole thing is, and I know you are not a big fan of the comedy act when it comes to Santino, but Santino could wrestle. I mean, he could.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
He wasn't terrible.
He doesn't need to be. I'm not asking Danhausen to be AJ Styles. It just can't be dreadful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. Just hang. That's all I need you to just hang. You have enough of a gimmick that all you have to do is just hang. That's it. You can't be dreadful in the ring. It's on him.
Yeah.
It's on him. His success in the WWE will be determined by him. That's it.
How long do you think he has until it just fizzles out?
I think he gets at least 2 years. They're going to milk this dairy cow for every last cent. They are selling merchandise, and you're going to like it. That's it. They are not deviating from this.
Do you think it would have been smarter for them to have him debut in NXT as opposed to WWE?
I guess.
Let the NXT crowd create that. Here's what, we know what his gimmick
but are they
is, but here's
paying
what
him
the
so
crowd
much
gets.
to the point where
That's
it
a
wasn't
great point.
appropriate to debut him in NXT?
Which to me, to be honest with you, and I have some personal experience with Danhausen, I think it's crazy if that amount of money was given to him to go to WWE. Don't you? I mean, that's a big risk. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm saying that's crazy
No,
that
yes, it is. That's
WWE
what you
would.
said.
No, I did not. I'm saying it's crazy for WWE to take that sort of a risk. They are not really known for taking those risks.
But they did here.
They did here.
While
which is
you've
surprising.
interacted with the guy, is it right for them to take a risk?
I think he is incredibly entertaining. And from what I have not only worked with him personally at Glory Pro, which, by the way, that match involves somebody else close to this show, your father, Brody.
Yes, he was. He was in that match.
I think, not only working with him there at that show, but also seeing him around Glory Pro, interacting with him at those shows, and watching his indie career and his AEW career, I think there is a place for Danhausen in the WWE. I think you are correct in saying that this all lands on him.
Yes.
Because there is no, WWE is literally for the first time in a very long time going, we know what you have created. It has worked. Now let's see it on the big stage. And I just got to see it translate to there. So I think it's a little too early for me to say, yes, this is going to work. No, this isn't. But there is an opportunity for this to work. And it's all going to depend if the WWE universe gives it time to blossom.
Now, is it on, if the WWE fans become too highbrow, in your opinion, Tony, and they use the word indie in a negative manner?
I think there's a little bit of that. Because, again, we have started to see a WWE minor league system, and it's almost like who the hell is this outsider coming in? They didn't come through the system.
This is a comedy act that only works on the indies. That's what a lot of their fans think.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, on the surface, this gimmick works really well in the indies, and it might not translate at a WWE stage. I think a test to it was Danhausen got a huge reaction when he debuted for AEW. People loved it.
He didn't want to be in AEW. He said, nope, I don't want to be in AEW anymore. I want to go to WWE. This is what I want to do. This is what he wants to do. So his success is depending on Danhausen. That's it. Because you said, I want to go WWE. Great. Go WWE. Get that money and go to WWE.
My question is, why do WWE fans now act like there wasn't back in the days of early 2000s, there were gimmicks that were just super funny?
Here's what it is, Ryan. It's the high ticket prices, number one.
Yep.
Their fans believe this. And I knew a guy that was there in Chicago. He's going to come on the show very soon. He's like, I don't pay to see independent wrestling with these type of prices. When I'm in Chicago and I'm here to see WWE wrestling, I expect more than this. This is corny. This is ridiculous. And that's what a lot of their fans think. They want to see the best wrestling in the world. They are convinced that WWE is the best wrestling in the world. And to them, Danhausen doesn't represent the best wrestling of the world. He represents what's worst about wrestling in the world.
The funniest wrestling.
I hate that because I'm a firm believer.
I think he's cool too.
I'm a firm believer that there is a place in wrestling for everything. The comedy needs to be there. I want to be entertained, and this is entertaining. Listen, you just can't go off of one thing and go, well, that stunk and this guy stinks too. Give it a second. That's the thing. I don't think
what Danhausen doesn't do anything logical. He's not coming out there, folks. He's not coming out there with light tubes and a fish tank. This is not what Moxley does in AEW, where it's just ridiculous. I mean, it does have some semblance of logic. It's not totally outside of the realm of reality.
Yeah.
He's not going out there cutting his head off like a chicken without a head. I mean, there's stuff here. I mean, this is not totally outlandish. I don't call it completely indie. I just don't. I don't see it. He's not doing things that are just ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous. He actually believes in this gimmick more than anybody else. And he's going to determine the success of himself in WWE more than anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. And on a personal level, the guy is a nice guy. Yeah. So all success to Danhausen in WWE. But like you said, they're kind of inserting him into this Intercontinental Championship picture. And on Raw, we saw the belt change hands. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Is it time, was it the right time to take the belt off of Dom?
I think so. If they're going to have Dominik, Mysterio, and Danhausen feuding, and they're going to have Danhausen on a match at WrestleMania. Spoiler alert: he's going to be on WrestleMania. Now, are they going to do a three-way for the Intercontinental Championship? Dominik, Mysterio, Danhausen, and Penta? Are they going to do cool match? Are they going to do Penta and Danhausen? Are they going to do Danhausen and Dom for the? I don't know, but Danhausen's going to be figured into some match at WrestleMania because they're giving him the rocket. Danhausen's getting pushed. It's not like this is not a situation where he's not getting pushed. I will not accept that criticism with Danhausen that he's not getting a push. He is getting a push. Oh, they've altered his character. No, they haven't. That is not an acceptable criticism for Danhausen. It is for other people, but it's not in this case. And Tony was right. Go out. Let's see it on the big stage. Here, we're giving you the ball. Danhausen is given the ball in this case. Same with Penta, but I think he's improved in WWE since he's gotten there, particularly his work in the ring has improved a great deal. But they're giving these guys the ball. Now it's time for them to run in it, and that's what the Intercontinental Championship is doing. It's elevating the stars of tomorrow.
I think that, and this wasn't even on my radar, but I think you nailed it. I think a great way to show that Danhausen is good in the ring too. And I'm not looking for him to be great, okay? I just want him to be good in the ring. To show him to do that and to make it believable and introduce him in the way that he could still do all those spots while still showing that he knows how to wrestle is by putting all three of these guys in the ring for the belt at Mania.
Right.
I think it's perfect. I think that is a great way. You can even go crazier, put the titles up above in the ring.
Well,
you could do that too, because again, Penta and Dom can do some cool stuff.
Yes, they can.
And then you insert, Danhausen doing some crazy kooky things, and this could be
It
an
makes it
entertaining match.
interesting.
It really, truly does. But my question is this for you. Okay, Dominik Mysterio, where does he go now? Because he doesn't have the IC belt kind of high.
Well, I think he's maybe having a gripe and needs a rematch with Penta, I think is in order. And maybe that takes place at WrestleMania. Clearly, Dominik Mysterio is going to have gripes with Danhausen. He cursed him on Monday Night Raw. So there's something with these three in the Intercontinental title picture. I think that's where you go with him next.
Do you look back at Dominik's run as IC champ and say that it was a cowardly run?
He was
That's an
injured,
interesting
he was
word.
injured like 60% of the time, right?
Well, you got to think, and a lot of times, when he was defending that belt, I mean, he didn't win it in the best
here's
of
the
ways,
bigger question.
guys.
No. Does Dominik feel like a bigger star now? Does he feel elevated?
Absolutely.
Okay, then it was achieved. Done.
I think
That's
it
what
was
the Intercontinental
achieved as well.
Championship is supposed to do.
I agree.
Okay.
I think so.
There it is.
I think so.
He feels more elevated.